We just recently covered the news that came at us courtesy of Jeff Snyder, where he was talking about what he's been told about the status of the DCU and DC Studios, saying that he's simply been told by sources that it's a mess. And now we might have insight into exactly why this is the case. And surprise, surprise, it's very much an MCU problem. So once again, whether this is true or not, whether you believe Jeff Snyder or not, that's up to you. I choose to believe what he's saying, and he's saying that he's heard that the DCU is already a mess. We don't know how big. Other reports followed stating that various things have happened behind the scenes that are sort of problematic, but there's no further elaboration. The most interesting thing I saw is that people are saying that it's running into the same problems as Marvel Studios has the entire time it's existed, especially from Phase 2 onwards. Now, without looking too much into it, I think I understand what they're saying without explaining it. So, Marvel Studios initially set out to get a lot of directors and voices that were different. You had Kenneth Branagh. You had somebody like Jon Favreau. You had Joss Whedon. You had Louis Leterrier. They were allowed a little bit more freedom in those early days because the universe wasn't defined. They were embargoing things, hiding things, and all that away from creators. But then, as things continued to go on, Marvel TV, they expanded to more projects. We started to see a lot of these directors talk about how, well, you go to them and you suggest something, and then they get back to you 6 weeks later, and this can't be used there, and this can't be used there, and this guy doesn't want to do this anymore, and this is freed up, but this is now locked away. I'm guessing it's the same thing. Think about it. James Gunn said from the very start, we're going to do things differently. It's creator driven. We're going to have all these different creators doing their own thing, and it's going to be not a major focus to have to force it into this giant crossover and all that. But think about this for a second. Then why are you making a shared universe stating that it's going to be bigger and better than the MCU, which is what he said their goal was, which is why they're doing comics, animation, cartoons and films, video games. So imagine what happens when somebody is working on, and I'll just use this as an example. Somebody's working on the upcoming Wonder Woman Paradise Lost series, and they want to use, I don't know, let's say Ares and Zeus. Suddenly, somebody else has said, well, we want to try to do this with this character over here. It's like, well, that interferes with Zeus. Sorry. Think of something else. Oh, okay. Or what if Lanterns? What if they wanted to use somebody that could be important to the plot? And they perfectly figure out how to work in, I don't know, John Constantine, because they're trying to uncover a mystery, right? Maybe they get him to help them out for a little bit, right? He's kind of like looking into this. This is supposed to be like a detective series. Suddenly, James Mangold goes, yo, hold up. I want him. Because him and Swamp Thing, Justice League Dark. Ooh, suddenly you got a problem. It sounds like that's sort of what many of these people are hinting at. They've already run into the same roadblocks that made the MCU a little bit more limited, because now you got more creators, and guess what? They want to take some of these characters and not have to worry about them going elsewhere and being done differently or running into roadblocks. You're already creatively going to be running into the same issues as the MCU. That's just a fact.